It's going, bro. So, name, age, and what do you do?
My name is Tom, I'm 26 and I'm self-employed business owner.
So, for me personally, I've always got the privilege to have you, one of my closest friends. But from, I guess, an inside look, you come from a place of where you know what I would consider exceptional coaches. You've got loads of functional fitness competitions underneath your belt. I just wanted to dive to depth as to a little bit of why choose me as your coach outside of just being a good friend.
I'd seen what you've done with other clients. I looked at the community that you already had here and it's still continuing to grow. And it felt like the best place for me to be. I got a ton of accountability. I learned so much about my own body, my own mindset, my own training goals. And it put me in a place where I really felt that I could just go into the gym, know exactly what I was doing and bring some intensity to it, which is something that I'd always lost and wanted to get back. Because that was the biggest thing for me. Now I go in every day with goals, purpose, and an idea of what I'm doing, goals in mind, and I've never seen so much progression.
And I think, and there's one thing I really want to unpick as to how you found, is that when we first started working together, and I think from the initial conversation we had, you were training 5 to 7 times a week.
Yeah.
And now have you training 3, maximum 4 times a week. How has that transition been for you?
I feel like I've got my life back. That's like a very broad and maybe deeper kind of way to put it. But when you're training 6, 7 days a week like I was, kind of fall into this trap of more is better. But you lose so much intensity. You can't focus yourself on other things like running your own business, being a dog dad now, having a relationship. All of these things are really important. And ultimately, you need something that fits around a lifestyle that still works for you. I'm only in the gym 3 days a week. The other 2 I spend doing runs or going outside or doing something way more social, which is fantastic. And as I mentioned before, the progression I've seen through doing that is crazy. But not only that, I don't resent the gym as something that would get in the way of the rest of my life. It's something that is now part of it and even an addition. And I always look forward to my sessions, which is the most important thing because this is my hobby and it keeps me grounded. And I want to be in a place where I can do that for as long as possible.
I love that. And for me, as I've kind of already tapped into a little bit, you're seasoned in terms of you know the industry quite well, you know quite a lot of exceptional coaches. So what would you say to someone who's probably not as seasoned and has much insight into the industry as you, as to why I'm potentially choosing myself as to hire them as a coach?
That's a great question. I think ultimately it comes down to the person. Knowledge, experience, despite you both having those things, are only going to take you so far. It's about how that coaches as kind of like this man-to-man management kind of thing. How do they interact with you? How do they adhere to your goals? How do they make you feel when you're training? How do they deliver the advice? And how do they share that knowledge with you? It's really important because ultimately they're going to be a driving factor in the progression that you make and how successful you are. And not only that, the community that they build. For example, what you've got here at CJPT is something that you wouldn't get elsewhere. Ultimately, how you feel in that environment is a big dictator of how you personally feel and how you progress and how you grow as well. And it's great that you're kind of growing as a collective and also as an individual. It makes you feel part of something bigger and that ultimately drive you to want to be better and do better each and every day.
So to narrow all that down into 3 words for me, let's go, hit me.
Inspirational, accountable, and just decent. I think that word goes underrated. There are a lot of coaches that just want to show off all the time. And it's more about them than the client. Here, the client is always put first. Always. They're at the center of everything. It's about what they can do and how you can help and support them. And that is essential and a breeding ground for people doing amazing things. So yeah, just a decent bloke. Don't be a dick.
I love that. Yeah. I'll wrap that up there.